Hey guys, Flash here, and today I'm going to unbox the 1/100 scale Master Grade RGM-96X Jesta. Now without further ado, let us begin. Okay, so I want to begin by just showing you guys the sides of the box. And on this side here we see a front and rear view of the Jesta. And also right here it just explains how you can also hold the rifle, and if not, you can also store it on the back. But what's really interesting is the fact that they really had pictures showing off the inner frame. And just by looking at the pictures alone, you can definitely say that the inner frame does look intricate and very well detailed. So it is going to be fun looking at that, and perhaps I might do an inner frame video just discussing it and showing you guys what it really looks like with just the inner frame built. But just again looking at the front and rear view, it's not that bad overall, but I'm not really sure if this is the painted version or if it's just the snap version. Bandai usually really likes to show off pictures of it painted on the box and the manual, and then just a few pictures of it just snap built. But for the most part, again, it just shows you information right here, especially with the shield, and also more information here as to the beam saber and the backpack, the hand grenade, and the small little figure. And that's pretty much it. But moving on here, again, some more information for you to really look at, along with an action pose of it, along with another pose, and it just explains more about the shoulder and the chest, the magazine, and the markings, the hand, the arms, and the knee ankle gimmick, and also the hip joint. And that's pretty much it. And just to wrap things up, right here, once you look at it, you'll notice that it points out an LED unit. This does support one, so if you want the eyes to glow, you can definitely do that if you decide to do so. But once you snap everything together, this is going to be the final piece, just the model itself, along with the shield and the rifle and the figure and the action-based connector, along with the stickers and the markings and the decals and the beam sabers. And that's pretty much it. But if you're also wondering, this retails for 4,000 yen, so definitely pick it up if you're really interested. It isn't a bad model per se, and let's look what's inside. Okay, so looking at all the runners, I'm not really going to go over each and every one, but I really am going to make a inner frame segment and a armor segment, and in each one I'm really just going to go over like a few aspects as to why I really like it. And starting off, here's the F1 runner, and basically one reason why I really like the frame, and the picture really showed it on the side of the box, is the fact that it's really intricate and very well detailed. This is really hard to see in standard Master Grades that you usually see, but with Bandai's new technology and improvements towards the Master Grade line, you can definitely see more Master Grades like this being designed. So basically, inner frame workings like this is really something that I appreciate, and it just gives more quality to the final result. But that's pretty much it for this runner. And again, I'm not really going to show you guys all the runners, but I am just going to show you guys point reasons as to why it's such an amazing inner frame. But looking at the legs right here, and again, just looking at the picture that it showed, you can definitely say the reason being behind why it really showed off the inner frame in the pictures on the side of the box. But just looking at the leg, you can definitely see the amount of weight, detail and work put on it. And again, just looking at this side. So basically, one side is going to have the hydraulic or piston detail right there, while the other side is going to be normal and standard. But it's just not one level. There's like different details and different levels and different surfaces, so it really is very well detailed. And you don't really need my word for it. Just look at the amazing quality of it. And again, the amount of work and detail on this inner frame really does shock me, and this being one of the main reasons. This, usually when you get a Master Grade, you have like a few pieces that make up the head, and it's not going to be a big inner frame head. It's going to be like a small one, like for example the Sinanju. It comes with a rather small inner frame head. But just looking at this, this is one single piece, and this is going to be the inner frame of the Jesta. So that's a shocker right there. So pretty much it's just one big piece, and it's pretty much detailed, and it's just going to be the inner frame of the Jesta's head. But pretty much that's it for that runner. And I want to wrap things up by looking at another runner and then moving on to the armor pieces. So here's another one, and this is the H1 runner. Again, we just see more of the detail, and this is going to be for the arms most likely, and you just see the amount of work again. And looking right here, these are probably going to be for the leg. Looking at the back hydraulics right there, well actually those might be pistons, I'm not really sure. Those might, I'm not really sure. But besides that, you don't really have to look at that just to see the point. You can also look at this. This is going to be, once I build it, I'll show you guys in an inner frame video why that's really a good aspect to look at. But another detail that I might have missed is detail like this right here. You can definitely see the amount of amazingness this model holds. So that being said, let's move on to more pieces. From that, you can definitely gather the idea that Bandai has really achieved a nice success in the inner frame detailing for the Jesta. But looking at the armor pieces, you might be curious as to if it's really as good as the inner frame, or like what's the point of having a very well detailed inner frame if the armor piece is going to be simple or whatever. But pretty much the Jesta really is like the design really has more of a simple yet more intimidating or military type based design. So honestly, the Master Grade I think really has a nice success with pulling this off. So you might think some of these pieces are really simple, but honestly they're not. They're very well made, and it couldn't be as more accurate as it is right now. So just by looking at that here, just looking at the head, showing you guys the detail, and again I'm just showing you guys like few aspects that I really like about it. And here's the missile packs right there for the shield, and here is one of the nice aspects that I've seen that Bandai has never done before. Now this is a Master Grade note, and because it's a Master Grade, its scale is supposed to be more closely to the designs of the designs of the line art. So that being said, there's going to be more detail on it compared to a high grade. And what's really nice about it that I've never seen in a Master Grade before is the fact that the symbol on the shield, or the emblem, it's actually going to be a separate piece. So if you paint that up, it's going to be really fun. And that's really something nice and amazing for Bandai to offer. They've never really done that before. You could argue the fact, but I've never really seen a Master Grade really have a separate emblem piece. But moving on, what disappoints me is the fact that the sensor, or the face mask, or rather whatever you call it, doesn't really have a clear piece. It's going to be orange, and the clear piece being said is just the inner frame of the head. And basically this is what's really going to have the light portray and stream out of the head. So this is going to help with the light going out evenly. But that's the only clear piece you're really going to get from it. But pretty much that's basically it. And just looking at this piece, you definitely see the detail on the foot, and you just see detail on the amount of shoulders, and pretty much simple and straightforward. And this is going to be the only color runner for this piece. This is like the lighter color of the Jesta, and it's just going to be one runner, which is C runner. And here you just see like pieces like the helmet, or the head, or like the face, the top part of the head. And pretty much, if you think that's not detailed, just look at that. If you panel line it or detail in a particular way, you can definitely bring out a lot of detail. So that's pretty much it, and straightforward. And just if I missed anything, here's the shield actually that's really going to have that single emblem piece underneath. So basically, most likely the emblem is going to come underneath it, and then coming out from there. But pretty much that is a nice detail for Bandai to offer. It's not something that I've ever seen before, so if they continue to do that, why not? It's a nice gesture. But pretty much, if you really think that the Jesta isn't detailed, or that it might lack in some quality, it's not the Stein. The Stein was a pretty plain vanilla type model, but the Jesta definitely has a nice kick to it. And just by looking at the backpack right here, you can definitely say that it really is packing a punch. So that's pretty much it for the armor pieces, but let's move on to something else. The manual is what I really want to cover up next. And pretty much once you open it, standard manual always has information on the model in the first 2 pages. And here we just see information on how the Jesta was made eventually. Like here we have the Jagan and then the Stark Jagan. I'm not really sure what type this is called, but then we have the Jesta and then the Jesta cannon. And just looking at the runners, I never really mentioned it, but just looking at the amount of parts that can really be separated, Bandai does have an opportunity of making a Jesta cannon. That's all I'm going to say about that debate, and I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. So if Bandai doesn't Master Grade Jesta cannon, definitely count me in on getting one. It won't be a bad investment. But that's pretty much it for the first page. Then on the second page, or like the third and fourth page, you're going to see information on what runners are included, and basically if you missed anything, so on and so forth. And that's pretty much it. and then the instructions. And what's really new, I think, is the way the instructions are. Like sometimes you see like a blank or like black and white layout, but honestly here it just shows you the model and what it's really going to come out at as the result. And here's just some recommendations on how you to assemble it, so on and so forth. Pretty standard. But then we move on to the instructions. So pretty straightforward. And once you go to the middle of the booklet, you always see a colored section, and here it just shows more information on the Unicorn series and UC 0096 and Laplace's box and so on and so forth, and the Jesta, and the painting guide for the Jesta, painting guide for the figure, and a before and after, which I really want to show you. Here's a before and after look if you decide to panel line or detail up the Jesta with just a panel line marker. So looking at the left, you see a before Master Grade Jesta, which is just assembled, pretty standard and straightforward. But once you go to the right, you see detailed, and that modeler decided to paint the pieces on the helmet black just to give its color separation more detail. And that really does bring out the quality, so that's a nice gesture for them to really show off. And if you're interested in the Jesta, you can also see other models from the Unicorn series, like the Unicorn Gundam, the Banshee Gundam, and the Sinanju. And that's pretty much it. And also, if you missed it or if you're curious, here's more information on the Jesta right here. It just shows information about the beam rifle, the shield, and the LED unit, and the head, and so on and so forth. That wraps things up for the unboxing, and that's pretty much it for the manual. And there's nothing more to say. I don't really have firm thoughts yet, so I'll touch back on you guys once I make the inner frame video, and I hope you guys enjoy that as well, so I look forward to that. And that's pretty much it. Comment, rate, and subscribe as always, and definitely check out the links in the description below. And that's it. And as always, FlashX007 signing out.